What is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be discussing the best way to determine how good you are at Fortnite. There's some specific types of questions that I get asked in my comment section very frequently. Although nothing will ever beat people asking me for my sensitivity, one of those most frequently asked questions I get goes something like this. Yo, I have 200 wins, my KD is 1.95, I have 130 points in ranked mode, and my highest kills in a single game is 14. How good am I at Fortnite? Obviously, I would never be able to answer all of these questions individually, so the purpose of this video is to provide you guys with information on how to examine yourself as a player to truly determine your skill level. On top of that, this video will also be discussing certain things that people may think directly determines Fortnite skill, but that may not actually be the case. Now I'm just going to be providing my general thoughts on certain ways to judge your own skill as a Fortnite player, so please don't get mad or take it personal if I say something you disagree with. I'm not some kind of an almighty Fortnite God where everything I say is written into law. It's just my general thoughts based on my experience with playing the game for the last year and a half. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now in the past, determining your skill level in Fortnite actually used to be a lot more simple. Back 10 or 11 months ago when I first started doing YouTube, I was a really big supporter of using stats as a way to measure skill. Because during that time period, Fortnite was simply a way different game than it is today, and your stats would actually say a lot about how good you are as a player. Solos, duos, and squads were really the only game modes available in all of Fortnite, and practically everybody took them pretty seriously. I doubt many of you guys will remember this because it was so early in the game's history, but something called leaderboard grinding used to be so popular. People would try so hard to get as many wins and kills as possible to show up on the top of Fortnite's leaderboards. I never did that, but I specifically remember having so much fun at the beginning of Seasons 3 and 4, trying to get as high of a KD and win percentage as possible. Because of all that, determining skill really used to be as simple as, if you had a 1 to 2 KD, you were this good, if you had a 3 to 4 KD, you were this good, if you had 0 to 50 wins, you were this good, if you had over 100 wins, you were this good, and so on and so forth. Now obviously, you'd still expect a 5 KD player to be better than a 1 KD player even now, but here, in April 2019, there's just too many other variables present for base statistics to be used as the end-all be-all of an individual skill in Fortnite. I've seen some pro players who literally have under a 3 KD in public matches because they don't really take it seriously and just go for crazy clips or play scrim games all the time. However, if you're someone that mainly just plays pubs and for the most part you take it fairly seriously, I still believe there's one stat that rises above all the others in terms of importance. It isn't KD, it isn't amount of wins, it isn't win percentage, it's actually kills per match. I believe that kills per match is the best statistical indicator of skill in Fortnite because it's really the only stat that can't be manipulated or boosted. If you want to get a really high KD or win percentage in Fortnite, it's as simple as hiding and camping until there's 1 or 2 enemies left, and then just finishing them off. This is somewhat difficult in a game like Solos, but if you have a team doing it in duos or squads, you'll win a solid amount of your games just because not many other players play solely for the win anymore. And in games where you don't die, your KD is technically infinity since you recorded kills but didn't record any deaths. Let's say you play like this with a squad of friends. You get 5 wins in a row where you don't die and you get 2 kills each game. Then on the 6th game you get 2 more kills, but unfortunately you die at the very end right before your team gets the win. In that 6-game stretch, you would have a 12.0 KD and a 100% win percentage. I'm not saying that way of playing is bad or unimpressive by any means, but especially with a full squad, it's something that doesn't really require a ton of individual skill. It did back in the earlier seasons because everyone was playing for wins, but now when 75% of the lobby is dead by the time the first circle closes, not so much. Kills per match, on the other hand, can't be manipulated in any way. You may be thinking, what do you mean by that? If I want a high kills per match, I'll just push every fight I see like a crazy person. Well, if you aren't a really good player, odds are you're probably gonna lose a decent amount of those fights that you just push like a madman. And on the flip side, if you play passive only looking for fights that you have a really good chance of winning, you'll have a very low total amount of opportunities for kills. As I've stated before, the average Fortnite game has 100 players, and due to some deaths to the storm or fall damage, there'll be about 95 eliminations recorded. So just roughly based on that, the average player will have slightly under 1 kill per match. So I would say if you have anything over maybe 1.5 or 2 kills per match, you're probably a good player. And then anything over around 3 or 4 means you're probably elite. So other than paying attention to kills per match, what else can you look for to determine your Fortnite skill? I think the first thing that would probably come to a lot of people's minds here is an individual player's level of success in Fortnite's ranked mode. That in theory does make a lot of sense. Ranked mode should be a lot harder than public matches, so reaching a relatively high amount of points should take a lot of skill, right? Well, obviously, if you're someone in Champions Division or maybe 200 plus points, odds are you're probably a very good player. However, I also want to point out that ranked probably isn't as good of an indicator of skill as you may think it is, because the mode is actually pretty flawed in its current state. This is mainly due to the relatively low bus fare in the majority of divisions, combined with the fact that you also can't D-rank from a division once you reach it. What this does is it leads to players playing overly aggressive because for a lot of people out there, it'll be faster to rank up by getting elimination points instead of placement points. Because of this, you'll have games full of players with 200 plus points, where almost nobody is actually playing for placement or for the win. Therefore, you could be a pretty average Fortnite player, land in the middle of nowhere, build a 1x1 on the edge of each new zone, and even if you don't get any kills, you'll almost be guaranteed at least a few placement points each game. I actually just heard a story about a pretty well-known Italian Fortnite YouTuber named Zuder, Xiuder, sorry, don't know how to pronounce his name, but he literally got into Champions Division, which is 300 plus points, by landing on a hamster ball at the beginning of each game, and he would literally just stay in it and not even try to kill any enemies, even if it led to him dying. I still maintain the position that ranked mode is a great addition to the game and way better practice than just playing normal public matches, but you also need to realize that until certain things are changed regarding the scoring and ranking system, you can take advantage of the point system in a way that doesn't really require a ton of skill. The final thing I want to cover in this video is the importance of playing solo to truly determine your individual skill. I totally sympathize with you guys out there that prefer playing squads and duo matches over solo matches. I'm honestly right there with you. I personally have more fun playing the game with my friends, and solos have just always felt a little too slow-paced for me. Especially with the new reboot van, in squads or duos, you can have games where you legitimately get knocked or even eliminated 3 or 4 times, yet still come back and end up getting 3 to 5 kills and winning the game. On the surface, a 3 to 5 kill win may seem really good, but in that scenario I just shared, you got killed 3 to 4 different times in the same game. It may sound harsh, but you really didn't play well at all. You just got saved and carried by your teammates. When you're forced to fend for yourself in solos, there's no getting revived, no stealing your teammate's kill after he does 170 damage, and no using your teammates as distractions while you snipe from 100 meters away. If you're able to consistently perform well in solos, whether that be winning while playing aggressively or just getting a solid amount of kills each game, that's a very strong indicator that you're a very good player. If you're someone who does well in duos and squads but does poorly in solos, that doesn't necessarily mean you're bad, but it does mean that your Fortnite skills are likely more based around playing well as a team than being good as an individual. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. This video is about how to determine how good you are at Fortnite, so I want to know. Based on what you've heard, what do you honestly rate your skill as a Fortnite player? Let me know if you think you're great, good, bad, average, or anything else. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.